I remember in the early 90s when this whole notion of personal brand came up. And I was in corporate America at the time. And one of my friends asked me, why don't you charge for the advice you give? Like, you're changing the trajectory of people's lives and you're doing it for free. And that's when I was like, who charges for advice? Hilarious, right? Turns out people pay for it. And so I started a personal brand company at the time. And the reason why I did that is because when I thought long and hard at the time about what people were coming to me for, it was to understand how they were showing up in the world, aesthetically, communicatively, and in terms of their character and reputation. So I started helping people build what I'm going to call market-led brands. And a market-led brand means you become what is popular in the moment. Now, unbeknownst to me, I thought I was giving them the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s of how to build a brand. Well, I quickly realized that market-led brands are not sustainable because much like oil and water, the real you wants to come out. And so you're going to have to find ways to suppress that. I eventually started helping people build value-based brand. What does that look like? A values-based brand is one that literally is foundationally built upon your core values, which means it is unshakable. It does not try to become all things to all people. It doesn't feel like it has to show up this way here and change in another environment. Now, one of the things that I offer is that while everybody has a different personal brand because it's based on our core values, 3 things that people do expect from any personal brand are authenticity, congruency, and consistency. So that means pick a lane, decide who it is that you are, and then let that be your brand. We're not talking about packaging. I wouldn't wear this to a pool party, but the contents of what I'm saying, the content of my character should not change from the pool party to time with my spiritual advisor to time with my mother, right? If the contents, the character, the intent of the communication changes because I'm trying to fit into the environment, that is how we get lost. And that's when our brand becomes more market-led because it's about what we want people to think of us externally versus who we are internally. Ultimately, your personal brand is the promise that you make to the world about who you are and what you stand for as displayed by your aesthetics, right? The physical manifestation of you, how you dress, your workspace, your home, your communication, and your character, which then all builds your reputation. What we also know about value-led personal brands is not everybody will receive you in the way that you intend, and that's okay. I believe that is how it's designed so that we know who we're supposed to walk with, what organizations we're supposed to walk with, the spaces that we're supposed to be in. Your personal brand enters a room before you get there, and it stays even when you leave. So let's be intentional about building our values-based personal brand.